Tonight on the latest news show with Gus Pope, we have special guest expert on conspiracies, Carson Von Rensselaer, and special music by Noah Arndt.
In today's day and age, it's hard to know what's real and what's not with all these conspiracy theories going around. Get your election going on. It's hard to know who to believe. Well, I'm here to tell you, always believe teenagers. Now, in the next shot, you're going to see my brick wall is going to change, and I'm going to use Jones's famous hair gel, and my hair is going to grow magically. So that's my product placement for the day, and I'd like to welcome to you our special guest on the moon conspiracy, Carson Von Rensselaer. Carson, I'm a very special guest on moon landing conspiracies, I hear.
You'd be correct.
In fact, I believe you wrote a book recently about the moon landings.
Yes, we did not go to the moon is the title of it.
We did not go to the moon. Anything you want to tell me? You have to convince me that we did not go to the moon.
Alright.
And don't forget to speak up because we have masks on.
Alright. So in the 1960s, what was going on? It was the space race, right? Soviet Union versus the United States of America. Everybody wanted to be the biggest and the best. And America, is the best. But Soviet looked like they were doing pretty good in the space war. So the United States knew they had to do something about it.
No way.
Because they had to. And also not only that, the United States was also losing credibility from the people. Every year the number kept going down, people stopped, believing what the government has to say and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So the government had to do something big.
Of course.
And that big thing was hoax the moon landing. 1969, Apollo 11. That's June, I think, 11th. They broadcast the launching of Apollo 11. But did anyone actually see them go to the moon? The only thing they saw was the rocket going up to the moon. Moon.
Yeah.
But there's some subtle hints that can tell you that didn't actually happen.
Mm.
The broadcasting first showed that the lunar was de-accelerating onto the moon. Funny thing was, no dust was kicked up during that.
No dust?
The thrust, you think of the engines would kick up something.
I think so.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, whatever. Astronauts get out, they do their thing, whatever, Buzz Aldrin or whatever, Neil Armstrong. They have these cameras, too. And everything seems fine, whatever. Take a few photos, cool. Well, they had these crosshairs on there. And, alright, that makes sense. So, center up your photo, makes sense. But they were etched onto the actual, lens. Oh. You look at these photos now, you can see that actually some objects in these photos are in front of the etching.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
That doesn't make any sense.
Not to me.
So, I believe that they put these, edited it afterwards. You can also notice in some of these photos that the same background appears in more than a couple of these photos, which is strange because in some of these photos they said that these photos were taken from miles apart from each other.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they're the exact same background. And not only that, you can see some of the props, but they call them space rocks or moon rocks on there. But you can see that some of these rocks in some photos have these interesting characteristics. Like the famous one, has a C on it, a distinctly placed C on it. Okay, whatever. But that rock keeps showing up in multiple photos. Now, I'm thinking NASA was running out of some money on the budget for this, and while shooting these photos, they just kept placing them, reusing it, throwing it back, doing it.
Mm.
The final piece of argument I have is, why would the government do this, you may ask?
Well,
Carson,
why would the government do this?
Why? Yeah, space race, whatever. But if you don't have the government is only powerful if the people make it powerful. And like I said, that the people started to disagree with the government more and more back in the 60s. And it looks like Soviet Union was going to come out and win. They were bigger and better. And the government was, losing popularity, so they had to do something to regain this trust of people. Because without the people, the government ain't nothing.
Yep.
So they fixed this, and a lot of people started loving the government. They started, donating more. They started going out, joining the military. They started supporting the government more. And you could see that, science and research boosted during this time period because people were very patriotic after the Apollo 11. And that's why I believe the government hoaxed it. I think that's why they did it.
Is it even a possibility that these things just could have happened in real life? I feel like there's been some people out there thinking that it actually happened, thinking that the moon landing actually could happen.
I think those people might be mentally ill.
Ah,
It could happen. I wasn't there, and you weren't there. And it just doesn't seem right. And when somebody, went up and asked Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, about the moon landing, he was outside his hotel, and the guy ran up to him, and started asking him questions. He asked him, "Did you actually go to the moon?"
ooh, that's a tough question.
How did Neil Armstrong respond to this? He didn't answer, but instead punched the guy in the face. Yes, I'm not joking. He punched him in the face. And I don't know why he would do that. A simple yes would have been fine, but it seemed a little weird, a little fishy that he would have done that. So I just don't believe it's true.
Is it true that space smells like seared steak?
That's what one of the astronauts said. I think he was just up there on the International Space Station.
Is that real? Is the International Space Station real?
I've never been there. I'm guessing you've never been there. So
By those standards, is Antarctica real? Do penguins exist?
I mean, okay. I think you should always be skeptical, right? You should never take anyone's word 100%, like you believe 100%. I think you should always be asking questions. And with the space landing or the moon landing, I think it's good that people are asking questions, right? Like myself. But see, with Antarctica, right, the penguins, right? I think you should ask, is it actually real? And do your research. So I just don't think you should be believing what the government always says. But I do believe Antarctica penguins.
Thank you for coming and informing me. You have obviously convinced me that the moon landing was not real. I'll make sure that I'll read your book, as will our entire audience today. You're getting a free copy. Come home with their own copy of, what was the book title again?
We did not land on the moon.
Did Not Land on the Moon by Carson Von Rensselaer. Thank you for your time. See you around. And that's, there you go.
As you see, I have now used Jones's famous scissors to cut my hair. Did a wonderful job. Thank you, Jones. Another product placement. And now, it is your treat. It is your opportunity to be enlightened by some very special music. Please welcome Noah Arndt as he presents to us Silent Night.